Channel, and this is the last live video we're doing of 2021. We'll have a whole bunch more in 2022. It's been a huge year of growth for us, but if you're tuning in today, last week we did, right before Christmas, the best Kia of 2021, and we explained that it was the 2022 Kia Carnival. This week we're doing the best Hyundai of 2021, and they are both 2022 models. And we have today the Tucson. This is the top of the line Ultimate. It is a hybrid, and we also have the top of the line Santa Cruz. It happens to be my personal vehicle, and I apologize for that. I was not planning to put my vehicle in, but I didn't have access to the Tucson or to the Santa Cruz that I needed to give you some variety on here, so we have to use my personal vehicle. And yes, that means I'm biased. I bought the best vehicle of 2022. So we're going to talk about what it takes to be the best vehicle of 2022 or 2021. And the reason these are both 2022 models is the basic criteria is they had to be available to buy for a significant period of time in 2021. And I know the Santa Cruz kind of squeaks in there because really it was late summer when we could buy that. But people knew it was coming. They were able to order it earlier. So we'll go with that and we'll make it work. But these two actually share a platform, and that's part of what makes them sort of sharing this title of the top Hyundai of 2021. So what we're going to do in this video is look at these both these vehicles in detail. That's what we do here. We go really in depth. And if you've never joined us before on a live video, what we do is we spend about a half an hour going really in depth. And after that half an hour, if the video is longer than that, we're just answering your questions or maybe going a hair off topic just to answer some of those off topic questions. So what we do, if you're not live with us again, is you can join us. You can skip ahead to the 3-minute mark if you want to go just to the content. In the meantime, we will we'll show you how to join us live, and we'll run a real quick ad for the dealer channels that support us. So here we go. If you want to join us live, just go to our YouTube page, refresh the page at exactly 2 o'clock Eastern time. I'm a hair late because I got a little wordy at the beginning there. And you will see that the live video is sitting right there when you refresh the page at 2 o'clock. You click into that and you're gonna have to watch an ad for, I don't know what that is. All right, we're skipping that ad for a second. Oh, it's a hair ad or something? Dyson hair thing. I feel like that's kind of cruel. It has a Dyson hair thing. Like, I'm not gonna be able to use that. That's not targeted ads, that's crap. All right, sorry about that. All right, so if you are joining us and you're in Ontario and you want to buy a car, buy it from us. We can be a local dealer wherever you are in Ontario. Brantford Kia, Brantford Hyundai, Owen Sound Hyundai. There'll be a link in this description to reach out to me after this video, and click that, talk to us, and we'll connect you up with vehicles. All right, 20 seconds to go before that 3-minute mark. Really quickly, we did end of year video. We're adding a test drive component to this channel next year. We've had a huge time of growth. So yeah, we're adding that in, and that'll be fun. And that's really the only news we have. So it's time to get going on this video. 3, 2, 1, here we go. All right, everybody joining us. It is Tucson and Santa Cruz as a comparison, as a competition, as whatever you call it. But these are what I've decided are the best Hyundais of 2022. And there could have been a lot of things. We had a few guesses for Palisade. Palisade doesn't win because it doesn't have the technology that these cars have. Veloster N, Kona N, Elantra N. Veloster N is the only one that I could have considered. I love that car, but it's a little behind on the technology compared to these two. It's also not quite a mainstream car. These ones have a variety of trims, which also helps right there. A whole bunch of things. Santa Fe, why did the Santa Fe not win over the Tucson? Short answer is because the Tucson gives you pretty much everything the Santa Fe does in a little bit smaller package, slightly more efficient package, including like shared powertrains. And it was my choice, again, for some of the technology over that. And again, because we go so in depth and I spend so much time in the details of these vehicles are class leading, and I think they are deserving of the win. And like I said, they shared a platform. So it's really one platform winning this award, but shared in 2 different ways. The Santa Cruz can't win on its own. It probably could have won on its own if it had a hybrid powertrain, and to me, that was an important thing. I was going back and forth between one of these 2 vehicles to choose the winner, and the reality is this one with the hybrid powertrain and the way they did the hybrid powertrain, which I'll talk about in just a second here, is what gives it the win. The Santa Cruz is hard to ignore simply because it is an all-new category, not just for the brand, but really for the industry. Yes, there's the Ford Maverick. This is better in almost every way than the Maverick. Yes, the Maverick beats this on price. But part of that is because this is better. It has more luxury features. It has more overall features. And the Maverick is really a utilitarian vehicle. This is a much more luxurious vehicle. But really, it's a whole new class. And by not copying anybody, Hyundai was known in the past for copying people, copying other brands, or at least certainly being reminiscent of other brands. This isn't reminiscent of anything. And I think it's a great first attempt. This is the top of the line model. Normally it would have 20-inch wheels. I have put winter tires on my vehicle. I did mention this was my personal vehicle. It was good enough for me to choose it, and that means I have a bias. So let's clear up the biases really quickly. I bought the Santa Cruz. I like the Santa Cruz. It fits my lifestyle. I'm probably biased towards it a little bit. You're going to see that in this video. Does that make me a bad reviewer? It's up to you to decide that. I'm also a big hybrid fan, and I think this one is excellently done. And so that's why these two are the winners. So let's talk about it briefly. We're going to go into each of these. They share an interior. They share a platform. This one's got a 2.5-liter turbo engine for 281 horsepower and 311 foot-pounds of torque. And I think for that vehicle, that is the right engine for that vehicle. I also think that for this vehicle, this is the right engine transmission combination. It's a 1.6-liter turbo with a hybrid. So you got a turbo engine and a hybrid, makes 227 horsepower, 258 foot-pounds of torque, and that means that you have different engines in each of these. And I think the real benefit here is if you're looking at this vehicle right here, the hybrid powertrain makes the most sense, because what they used to do in the lineup is add a faster engine with, for instance, just a turbo or a bigger turbo. What they did here is added more power and less fuel consumption. And that is like the holy grail of what we're trying to do moving forward. 2022, I don't think you'll be able to win the 2022 award unless you are at least a hybrid or an electric car. And if anybody wants to know why the Ioniq 5 did not win, and it probably could have and maybe even should have won, it's simply because I've seen and driven one exact car of the Ioniq 5. I have not driven multiple models, and it has not been available for sale long enough to win. It would be the leader going into 2022 as the best vehicle you can buy from Hyundai. So let's jump in and talk about some of the things that we like and things that we don't like on these and why they are deserving of the top video. Really quickly, got about 70 people on. We're way low on likes compared to what we normally are right now. So if all of you regulars can just hit that like button for me. The rest of you all try to earn your like, and I'm going to ask for it throughout this video, but I will try to earn your like, and here we go. All right, interior, I've got the keys for both vehicles in my hand. Let's just pop them out for a second. And let me set them down here for a second so I can show you. If you want to follow us on Instagram, every morning I do an Instagram story, and you can follow us right there. All right, here we go. These are the two keys. They are identical, but not. This is the Tucson, and this obviously is the Santa Cruz with the pickup truck looking button right there. You have a couple extra buttons in here. This is called the Smart Park. The Smart Park. They use that in commercials. The Santa Cruz doesn't have that for a number of reasons. Smart Park is an ability to press the key fob to move the vehicle forward and press the key fob to move the vehicle backwards. You can pull it in and out of tight spots, in and out of your garage. You can do things like that. One of the reasons the Santa Cruz doesn't have it is they've never designed in the front parking sensors. And I have a feeling, and I could be wrong about this, but I have a feeling that since they knew they were launching the Santa Cruz in this chip shortage era of 2021, I think some features have been left off the Santa Cruz on purpose because of chip shortage. Potentially the Smart Park, no option for memory seats, no option for a passenger side power seat, no start-stop function, which is traditional on a lot of our vehicles. A lot of you don't like that start-stop function, but all of those things take chips. And the fact that the Santa Cruz does not have some of those, I think it's intentional because of some of these chip shortages, and that allows us to get the vehicles out. So, a couple things left out that vehicle, but let's take a look at this vehicle. Now, I'm on the record as saying the Tucson is a better interior than the Santa Cruz, and everybody says, oh, they're identical. Well, they're not. Tucson you can get here on the top of the line trim with the memory seats. You can't get that. We talked about that as well. The screens are identical. This, to me, is a better setup, and you can argue with me, and you'd probably be right. If you prefer the traditional gear shift, the Santa Cruz has that. What I don't like about the Santa Cruz, and you'll see it in a minute, is this is a better use of space. This is, down here you have a wireless phone charging pad that sort of the phone sits on an angle and it works perfectly. And then you still have space for a secondary phone down there. If you were on a road trip with two people with two phones, you have a space to put it there. And you have space down there. See that blue lighting in there, that ambient lighting? There is a space down here, which is actually quite a bit of space. And again, we never really use that, but on a road trip to have something that just has a little extra space on driver and passenger side there. The Santa Cruz does not have that side space. So I think the Tucson wins there. It's possible that the drivetrain of the Santa Cruz, being a heavier duty drivetrain, may need that space, but I'm not convinced that's the reason. I just think they should have done it and they didn't. So again, down here, a little bit more space. Wireless charge pad is still there. I'm going to turn this to the on position. Turn everything up here and you can see, what have we got? Dual zone climate control. A lot of you are going to say there's no buttons or knobs. Yep, it doesn't have any buttons. It has touch sensitive things and they are very instant to react. I find them take about, if you're with the vehicle, a couple days to get used to. It doesn't have that volume knob. You do have things like this over here, which is up, down. And here's my little argument against, I call them lazy auto reviewers. Auto reviewers have a new car every day, every week. They just tell you they want the volume knob and they tell you you're gonna hate the volume knob. And then we go ahead and believe them and say, yes, I'm gonna hate that there's no volume knob. Here's the thing, you get used to it. So yeah, you just get used to it. And when you get used to it, it doesn't bother you at all. And the nice thing is I have a cloth in mind. I can clean this up, keep the fingerprints off, and I think it works very, very well. I did have concerns about there not being buttons, but then I realized that all of these buttons are actually duplicates of the screen. And on my other car where all of these are actually buttons, I only ever touch the screen anyways, which is button free, and you can do that. So it's just really not a concern without the buttons. You just get used to it the same way we got used to touchscreens. Nobody complains that the touchscreen doesn't have physical buttons. We just use the touchscreen. We like that it has good software, and that's what happens here. So really good system here. A lot of options in here. We can go through all kinds of things. Hybrid menu is in this vehicle. Yeah, quiet modes, those kind of things. Just good features, good laid out stuff. And if you've never seen the technology, we have some number of technology videos on this vehicle, and we can go through that. The big thing that they're doing right now that I think is good is that you have a guest mode, and you can change users for driver 1, driver 2, and the guest mode. So we're gonna leave it in the guest mode here just because we can have that. But the thing I like is you can really customize both of these cars up. And like I said, the interior is the same in both, so we're gonna stay in one for a second here. The ability to customize your driver modes is important because some of the safety features that you can set up into this car, and there's a lot of technology, including some essentially self-driving like technologies, when you have them custom set for the way you like to operate the car, that may not be the way someone else likes to operate the car. So you're not just changing things like radio stations, presets are saved, you're saving things like, you know, the way this car behaves with certain technologies while driving. So I like the fact that you can just change the user to, you know, yourself or your co-driver or another co-driver, and have it all set up ready to go. That makes a huge difference, and that's why I really like these driver modes. One thing that's really great about this double digital screen here, so my car has intelligent speed limit assist. I don't believe it's set up on this car. Can't remember if it has it. But you have a situation here where this is the mode you want to use when you have your smart cruise control. You can put your digital speedometer in here. You can do all kinds of things. But when you have your smart cruise control, traditionally it has sort of a car sensed here, and you have 1 through 4 dots up here and a car there. And that shows you that how much distance you're going to have. But what this does really well in the smart cruise control is it draws kind of a blue line across as the distance that a car can come in, and your car will follow it. So smart cruise control adapts your car, which is what's displayed here, to the car in front of you. So if you set your cruise control at 100 kilometers an hour, you approach somebody, it's going to slow down as that car is in there. And what's really cool is you have an icon that looks a lot like this of another car as you're approaching it showing up, and you'll know exactly where it's going to stop because there's a blue line in here on that cruise control. And it's just an example of them doing a really good job of using these digital screens, because in a car without that display, what happens as you're approaching the car, you're waiting, and then all of a sudden the car slows down. And the only reason you know your car is going to slow down is because it actually slows down. Whereas if you have the display, you can be like, oh, you know what? I want to get a little closer to that car or further away. So you have that ability to basically see on the display screen better. So display screens, the short answer is they're fantastic. When we change drive modes here, you can change the look of your displays, and it's the same in both. There's a terrain mode as well, snow, mud, and sand. And that's another thing worth pointing out. When you put in these drive modes, whether it's a... actually, I have a smart mode in the other car, eco mode in this car. But whether you have the hybrid or the more powerful pickup truck version or sport activity vehicle version, those drive modes with the multi-drive modes and the terrain modes, which you don't have in the States, but you do have in Canada, they work very well. They don't just adapt your all-wheel drive system, they adapt the stability control, the traction control, hill descent control, and some things. The electronics of the car, the way the transmission works as far as holding revs, building revs slowly, the throttle pedal, it changes all of those parameters to really customize this car and make it really, really good in different terrain modes and different terrain situations. So it's a really good situation. Like I said, the American versions don't have these drive and terrain modes. They have a four-wheel drive lock button, and we have a drive and terrain mode. So really nice button to be able to switch between the drive mode and the terrain mode and switch it there. So again, push button gear shifts, not everybody's fan of that, but it does clear you some more space. While we're in the Tucson here, you do have the panoramic roof, which you don't have in the Santa Cruz. We're going to talk about rear seat and trunk/bed in both of them, but let me just quickly show you the differences in the interior of the Santa Cruz before we take your questions and come back and show everything else. Somebody was asking where these were made. This one here, the Tucson, is, I believe, made in Korea because it's a hybrid. What's interesting is the American Kia Sportage, for instance, or Kia Sportage, will be made in the States, whereas the Canadian one will be made in Korea. So this is a Korean vehicle, and this one over here is an American-made vehicle. So, all right, jumping in here, biggest difference you're gonna see, like I mentioned, you still have this detail here like it could be a storage space, but it's not. And then because you have this gear shift here, which is the traditional gear shift, you have a wireless charge pad that goes here, but there's no real space to stick a second phone. Let me just turn this to the on position, get the gear shift out of the way. So again, no real ability to put a second phone there, which I'm not a big fan of. It's one thing that they had the push button gear shift, this would be out of the way. The other thing is when this is in park and you come in with your phone and you have a water bottle here, you kind of can't get your phone into the wireless charger because you can't move your hand the right way. So you have to move the water bottle or you have to move the gear shift to get the wireless phone charger in, or you can just kind of go in the side like I said there. But it's just a little more awkward. The push button is a better system as far as overall space, but I get it, not everybody likes that. Both vehicles have heated and ventilated seats in this top trim, and heated steering wheel, of course, hill descent control. The rear view camera is actually fantastic, so let's take a quick look at that. Throw it in rear view camera and you see a drawing of the vehicle, which is missing a sunroof, which is silly because it should have a sunroof because every vehicle sold with this 360 camera that has the bed, every Santa Cruz has the sunroof. It should have the sunroof. But you have the 360 camera, which is pretty cool. Both these vehicles have the same thing. When you look down the side of the car in reverse, you can see your rear wheels here on the side of the car. When you switch it to drive, and you want to look at the side of the car, now you're looking at the front wheels. So you can parallel park and see the car. The 360 view gives you an idea of where your front wheels are going, but also where your rear wheels will turn. So that's kind of a handy thing there. So I'm going to have that out the front. I really like having a front camera on these vehicles. You can even look straight down at the front if you wanted to. But I really like having the front camera because if this was a curb, I can't see that from the driver's area, and you can just park perfectly with this car. The Santa Cruz visibility out the back is not as good as the visibility in the Tucson, and I'll show it to you right now. You have a small back window. If you are looking through, you can kind of see the bed. Oh, I can't show you with the camera, but I can just sort of see the edge of the bed by doing that. You know, I don't know if you can put your head where mine is. There you go. That's what you can see from when I lift my head, but you really can't see out the back other than the traffic behind you. Not a problem when you're driving, but you can't see around you. So the 360 camera is kind of cool, and I have to just turn the car on for a second, but when we do that, turn the car on, and oops, I got to put it in park. Let's try that. Start the car up here. When I signal to the right, there's a live video feed of my blind spot on the right, a live video feed of the blind spot on the left, which is super helpful because you could easily adjust the mirrors and not see that Tucson right there. I can see because I have the mirrors adjusted correctly, but when you signal, there's no way you miss that Tucson, and it's just a really good use of camera systems here. It's just technology that we don't see in every vehicle. LED lighting throughout this car. I have a smaller sunroof in this vehicle. And again, one of the reasons these cars win is this lane follow assist instead of lane keeping assist. The lane follow assist on these newer models that the Palisade doesn't have yet is absolutely phenomenal. It really keeps you locked and centered in the lane. Works very, very well. All right, we're gonna go take your questions. We're gonna go rear seat, trunk to bed. There is a trunk here as well. We'll take a look at that and we'll go from there. Somebody's got the name Kia Partner, and I'm not sure what that is, but I'm not sure you're allowed to use that Kia logo, just so you know. They're asking about the EV6. We'll talk about the EV6 when we go off topic around the half-an-hour mark if you want. All right, flipping around here. Let's flip the camera around. And we'll put this there. Okay. Yes, we know the EV6 is coming to Canada in the spring of 2022. Yeah. So, okay. Just so we know, I'm not sure that account named EV or Kia Partner. I don't know who they're tied to, so I can't vouch for their information, just so we know. Okay. All right, questions here. I took lunch breaks at 2 just to watch Peter. I'm sorry. I feel like that's a sad lunch break. Yeah. So he says, I love the gray color. The gray color is actually called Amazon Gray, and it is a green color to me in person. I'm not very good with my colors, but it's called Amazon Gray, and it definitely has a green look to it. So it's pretty cool looking as well. It is a nice color there. All right. Somebody who has been very busy, yeah, regular has been busy with a funeral and papers, and I'm sorry for you. I meant to reach out to you and say I hope that you're okay, but I'm doing it here on our live video. All right. Does the ultimate, okay, so again, Ionic type stuff. Ionic questions, yeah, let's just quickly answer it. Yes, it does. All Ionics sold in Canada qualify for the federal rebate. Just gonna try to stay on topic for a second. So you guys thought the Santa Fe would be in the running? The Santa Fe was in the running for the top vehicle. And like I said, it's just, to me, it doesn't do everything that this does. This gets slightly better efficiency, has almost as much space. Yeah, it has, technically has more cargo space according to the stats, although I've argued that and I'll explain that in a second. So Santa Fe is excellent. But the Tucson has everything that has, including a shared powertrain when you come into these hybrids. And I think that gives it the edge. And like I said, the platform is very, very, very good and a little bit more up to date. Okay. What do we got here? Sounds of nature. All right, we talked about that. Okay. Where are we here? Okay, so what's the difference between the sport mode and the snow mode? A lot of stuff. Sport mode's very aggressive. Snow mode is the exact opposite. Really, the snow mode resists wheel spin. And I did a video of this, of tires or technology, what makes the most difference. Go ahead, watch that video, tires or technology. Just search YouTube for Kia Hyundai channel, tires or technology. You'll see a lot about the snow mode and the sport mode in there. And we'll go from there. Okay. When will you be getting the 23 Sportage this spring? Always love these lives. I appreciate you for joining us. Okay, do you like the Tucson better than the Santa Fe? Yes, I do, personally. So again, this is my choice of the best one for 2022. The Santa Fe is excellent. It's probably a better choice for some people than this. It is a little bit larger. The seats are a little bit larger. But to me, it doesn't give you anything that this doesn't give you. It's just a little bit larger, but again, like I said, trunk space is the same. So Santa Fe could easily be in the running, but again, the shared platform idea of this, the technology in these ones, I really like. You can't get this one in the hybrid with the 10.25 inch screen that this one has. I just feel like it's better with that 360 camera. That Smart Parks feature you have on this car that you don't have on the Santa Fe. So as far as choosing a winner, I would say this one is the winner for me. I don't have an issue saying that over the Santa Fe. That being said, it may not be the best one for you. If you're interested in this car, you should drive the Santa Fe. If you're interested in the Santa Fe, you should drive the Tucson. Okay, so where we're gonna go now is rear seat to rear seat. And this is another reason the Tucson wins. When we talk about advantage in the class, and that's part of the thing is, it has to be very good in the class. And that means that Palisade isn't always gonna win versus, you know, the Venue. The Venue could be the top vehicle in its class. Palisade could be average in its class, and the Venue would win in my books. So this one here has very, very, very good rear seat space for a vehicle in its class. And that is, oh, and I'm cheating here. So here we go. This seat moved back from where I was by a lot because it's a powered seat. When you turn the car off, it's set to come back. It's called a comfort access feature. Even when I'm 6 feet tall, and it's probably moved 3-4 inches back, maybe even more. Normally I have out to here with my knees, but it's moved all the way back, and I still have a ton of space, knee room back here. Headroom is excellent. The seats can collapse. Actually, I could recline it more, but there's a cargo blind in the way that I would have to move to the secondary position to get it. But you can recline the seats. Overall rear seat is excellent in here. Similar on both vehicles. You have the pockets on both sides there. This one does have heated rear seats. The Santa Cruz does not have that. This one does have the vents up here. Only the top trims have those. And you do have the, actually lower trim of this one might have it. Santa Cruz, not the lower trims. 2 USB ports back here. And again, you know what? Why don't we just quickly, well, I don't have to move the seat. I think you guys get the point. Normally, if I flip back over here, come on camera. Sorry about that camera work, guys. Normally this knee room space would be from here to at least here for a 6-footer. So you have like 6-8 inches of space for knee room there. My legs are also flush on the seat, very comfortable, and there's a ton of space underneath the floor. So the Tucson is excellent. And somebody says Tucson is Sportage. Not quite yet. So the 2022 Tucson and the 2022 Sportage are on different platforms, and the current Sportage is smaller. The 2023 Sportage, which will come out in the spring of 2022, I know that's confusing, will be shared platform, and then they will be very similar, and that will be an interesting combination. No rear wiper up down here because it's hidden underneath the spoiler. That's a good thing. We'll show you that in a second. Let's go back to rear seat space over here. So this one, the seat is not moving back. So this is all the space I have. And this is where you have to make some compromises when you put a bed on an SUV. And this is where the biggest compromise is made in the Santa Cruz. For me, it works just fine. Headroom is good. I have a space here, but even under the lower spot, I still have a lot of space here. The seat is more upright, but still very comfortable. And knee room, I still have enough. It's not that bad. I'm a 6-footer sitting behind myself. This is my own personal car. That's where I sit to drive. It's pretty good for a compact truck. In fact, I used to have a mid-sized truck, a Colorado, and this has more knee room than that. I personally find this seat to be more comfortable than a mid-size, any of the mid-sized trucks. It doesn't really matter which one, and you can decide for yourself. But that's one thing that I was concerned about is rear seat space is a compromise in this car. It's certainly not anywhere near as big as a Tucson, but this is perfectly livable for an adult, and if you have kids, it won't be an issue at all. Again, 6 foot sitting behind a 6-footer. If you are 6'4" in the front seat, you will fit in the driver's seat no problem, but your passenger space is going to be limited for the rear seat space. You won't fit a 6-footer behind you at that point. Same things over here, no heated seats on this one here, but you have cup holders in the door because there's no armrest in the Santa Cruz. I think that's a little silly, but it is what it is. Pockets there, vents there, USBs down the bottom. And I happen to have one of the very first rear WeatherTech mats in the Santa Cruz. I really like it. I just set it in before the video, and usually you have to have a little bit of a warmer day to have them sort of settle in. But you can see the fit is just perfect. Rear WeatherTech mats, I highly recommend them. I just got it today. And then one of the reasons I think you don't have heated seats is because you do have an under seat storage here, which is very deep, quite useful. I like that quite a bit in here. And you have both sides, although there is the jack on that side for the spare tire. All right. Last thing we're going to show you, well, no, I don't know if it's the last thing. I want to compare the grills in a second because they are different. A lot of people say they're the same, and a lot of people are calling certain pieces the headlights, which are not the headlights. But next thing we're going to do is cargo space, and that's because they are different. Again, these share a platform. You would never think that they're the same car underneath, and they're not really. We'll talk about those differences. But you have a really different area for platform here. So you have a powered tailgate here, and you can see that coming up. This floor is in the lowest position. You could make it level with this area here, but I have it in the lowest position for the most space. Cargo blind there, you can fold the seats down. If you have a massively large item and you want it to be inside, this one might win over that one, but that one will definitely fit a larger one. So let's take Teddy Bear over here. Teddy Bear, this is your last video of 2021. You need a bath. It's been a dirty, dirty year. But Teddy Bear is going to help me out. The reason I put Teddy Bear in here is because he is a consistent thing that shows the size of vehicles. This, in the lower position, gives him a ton of space. The Tucson, spec for spec, has more space than in the trunk than the Santa Fe. Now, I think the Santa Fe has a lot more underfloor storage that they probably don't count. But this one is a massive trunk. And again, it's why it wins over the Santa Fe. For the size of the vehicle, you don't really sacrifice anything other than certain things that, maybe you like the look of one or maybe you want certain features in one, but it's very, very close. One interesting thing here, there's no LED light in the trunk here. You will see LED lights in the bed of the Santa Cruz. So let's take a look quickly at the Santa Cruz. This is your cargo space. It does not fold into the passenger area, but if you want more space, obviously you can drop the tailgate down. And the biggest feature here is this hard tonneau cover, which I quite like. A lot of pickup people will tell you that it's a problem because there's that canister, that whole panel that I rolled back goes into that canister. Some pickup people will say, oh, that robs you of space in a pickup truck world. And in a pickup truck world, it does. But as a crossover, this is a huge space to put your stuff. Like, it's just a lot of space. So when we take Teddy Bear here, who again is, Teddy Bear and a half-ish space in here, let's throw him in the Santa Cruz. And to throw him in the Santa Cruz, I have to actually step up here. And I'm going to use these corner steps. That's what they're for, to step into the tailgate when it's open. A lot of people are trying to say, oh, this is useful. It's just to get to a step while it's open. And so I'm just going to climb in for a second here. And we'll take Teddy Bear, and we'll put him all the way to the front here. And underneath the cargo cover. And there we go. So when we say Teddy Bear and a half space, this This is a 2.5 teddy bear trunk. Like, you have a ton of space. Teddy bear's there, he's under the tonneau cover, and then you also have this little trunk space. Compared to a Honda Ridgeline, it's less. Sure it is. If you need more, great. There's another vehicle out there for you. But the fact that you have this at all is really, really useful. It has drain plugs, so if it gets wet, I store my snow brush in here, and you can just, if it gets wet, who cares? But I also can use it for my computers, so they're not sitting with my kids. If you have a pickup truck, you don't have any interior storage. If you've got 4 people, they're sitting with stuff. I don't trust my kids with my computers and cameras and other stuff like that, so I have this space in here. It's wet, it seals like a trunk. If it gets wet, you can drain it, but it does seal like a trunk, and it's just really, really helpful to have. When I'm camping this summer, I have 4 camp chairs that fold up and fit in just half of it, so they're actually fairly comfortable camp chairs, but really useful there. And remember I mentioned the LED lights on the, or the lack of LED lights in the trunk on the Tucson? Right here, you do have LED lights, one there, and as soon as the trunk goes above it, you can light up your trunk area, and also you have a bed light up there, which when you slam the trunk, all of those LED lights turn off. So really good space there, and of course that tonneau cover on top has a little strap here. You can pull it back all the way. You can keep it just part way if you want to, like that, and shut the trunk. You can lock all this up, and the nice thing is, if you want to keep this locked, it's relatively weather sealed. It's not guaranteed to be waterproof. There's how you lock it there. I don't know if you can see that. You spin this way and it opens, and now the handle works. If I spin it this way, like that, this handle just becomes loose, doesn't work, and yeah, then it works with the trunk. So considering these are the same basic platform, they're quite different. Now let's just cover a couple things that are different. This vehicle can carry, like the weight, the sticker in the door, the actual sticker, not the brochure weight, but the actual vehicle, it can carry about 500 pounds more than that vehicle. And if you put some of that weight in the bed, this one has load leveling rear suspension. So the rear suspension will squat when you load it, and then you drive around the block and it'll level itself out quite a bit. So I've seen a lot of tests where they do like a towing test, and they put the hitch on and they measure the squat. Well, the load leveling suspension doesn't kick in until you drive around the block. That's how it works. So this one has different rear suspension than that. This one has a much longer wheelbase than the Tucson. This one does drive better, in my opinion, than the Tucson. The Tucson drives very well for its class, but that longer wheelbase and different suspension does pay off in this vehicle. They don't drive the same. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I've driven a Tucson, so I know what a Santa Cruz drives like, or I've driven a Santa Cruz, so I know what a Tucson drives like. That's not the case. They have different rear suspension. They have a longer wheelbase. They ride differently than each other. So here we go. I did not beg for likes today, not like I usually do, but we're at 104 people on right now. How cool would it be to finish the year with 100 likes? We got to 120 plus yesterday, 139 I think we got to yesterday. I don't think we'll get to that, but if you appreciate that I do this, if you like the vehicle, if there's anything worth liking about this, even if you just feel generous, let's see if we can hit the like button together right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll hit the like button. We'll see if we can get up to 100 plus. And I'm going to go try to answer as many questions as I can, and we'll wrap this year up with this video. So let me go flip back here. And again, if you've just joined us, the wheels on the Santa Cruz, this is my personal Santa Cruz. It's just the easiest one I had access to today. I was going to get a different one, but that didn't work out. The wheels on this one are my winter wheels. They would normally have the 20-inch wheels on this one. All right, Hyundai sold luxury cars for 15 years. Okay, somebody's complaining about political stuff, so I'm going to stay right out of that. Is there a diesel in the Hyundai? No, there's no diesel. Hyundai just, I don't know if they announced it, but there's news reports, and I believe it to be true because it's consistent with what they're doing. They shut down their engine research division, like their powertrain division, the gasoline powertrain, diesel powertrain. They are moving to an electric-only platform as it goes. There will be very little new engines, if any new engines introduced in their platform. There may be an engine coming out that they've already done, but they're changing that all over to electric powertrains. So diesel is gone from their platform, and you will see that they are moving to battery electric as the world goes on, and that's not really going to be any different than anybody else moving forward. So no diesel here, no diesel in North America. Will I be doing the best Kia? Yes, we did the best Kia right before Christmas. Now we're doing this right before New Year's. Best Kia, spoiler alert, was the 2022 Kia Carnival. Fantastic vehicle in the class. Is the Santa Fe, not Santa Cruz, more premium on the inside than Tucson? Depends on what you consider more premium. It does have a more quilted leather. I guess some people would say it is more premium. I would say not to me, but there may be some people that feel that it is, and that could be, you could certainly make an argument for that case that it is more premium than this one. It does have more adjustability to the driver's seat, four-way lumbar, a little extension out the front piece. So yeah, you could make the argument that it might be a little bit more luxury in that way. Since you own a Santa Cruz, do you recommend a dash screen protector? I don't. I'm not worried about it. I do recommend keeping a microfiber cloth in your glove box or in your armrest, and pull it out once a week. Give everything a wipe. It takes the fingerprints all off. It keeps it looking like new. No more removing tonneau cover pieces to carry tall stuff then. That's right. Just roll it up. The tonneau cover works really well on the Santa Cruz. Now, to be fair, if you come from a pickup truck background, not everybody's going to like that rolling tonneau cover. It's not as convenient in the winter because if there's some snow on there, it can get into the mechanism and that kind of thing. Some ice. I haven't had any issues using it in the winter. The big reason I need a bed, I don't need a pickup, but I need the bed, is for my summertime hobbies. I do a lot of camping, a lot of water sport type stuff. Things are wet, smelly, and I travel from place to place, and I don't want to have to put that in my SUV. I can keep it outside, and I've had a pickup truck in the past, and having had one, the bed is all I really need. It's really convenient to have that. Teddy bear is squishy. I bet you could get 12 of them in that space. Teddy bear is squishy, but we treat teddy bear well here. We treat him well. Okay, I like that you climbed up and put Teddy in the Santa Cruz. I remember packing things and throwing in the back. Yep. All right. It's a shame dealers are adding thousands of dollars on top of MSRP. It is a shame. It's stupid. I'm not a fan of it. We don't do it here. Now, I can see why they do it, and maybe that'll be something that becomes business as usual, but it doesn't happen right now. I know in the US, a lot of you are trying to buy these vehicles, and dealers are adding money on top of the MSRP. We don't do that at our dealer group here. So I agree with you. I'm not a fan of that, and I think, as you got regulations and companies wanting to move to networks without dealers, I think you're not doing yourself any favor if you're a dealer and you're charging over MSRP. You're thinking short term, I can make some more money now, which I'm not sure is the case because I hear so many people are backing away from that. But I think long term, you're not doing yourself any favors. Why does a customer need a dealer base if they can just buy from the manufacturer at cost and have to pay a dealer an extra way above MSRP? It doesn't make sense to me. I'm not a fan of it, and I'm advocating for you, so I agree with you. Heard the Maverick is getting over MSRP at CarMax. Is it the same for Santa Cruz? Yeah, CarMax is American. Everything's getting over MSRP in the States, and it's silly. So yeah, Santa Cruz dealers are asking over MSRP. So do you think the Tucson can last 10 years or more? Yeah, 100%. Thing's warranted for 10 years in the States. Yeah, no issues. I live in Ontario. Does your dealer still take recall fixes? My wife has 2013 Sonata. Yeah, call up to our dealers. We do recalls all the time. So here's the thing about recalls, I think. Now, again, there's an engine issue. There's an engine recalls. I'm not going to get into that. That's not what we're talking about today. The thing with Kia and Hyundai vehicles, they're very good about staying on top of the recalls. And they have service campaigns and stuff that make these vehicles better. If they sense a problem that's not safety related, a lot of companies wait for a safety related issue, which is that's when you get a recall. But sometimes there's issues with a little plastic clip or something in these cars that doesn't work the way it should. So they do these product improvement campaigns to make your ownership experience great. It functions like a recall. I think that's a great thing to have some of these things where they know they can make it better over time. Can you adjust the trunk door height of the Tucson N-Line? If it has the powered tailgate, yes, you can adjust how high it goes. If it has the manual tailgate, no, there's no height adjustment. It just goes up as it is. So powered tailgate, you can set to go up just a little bit or a lot, whatever you want, no problem. Any car shortage of Hyundai in the GTA? Oh yeah. There's a car shortage in the entire world, and we've had a tough month, but it is supposed to get better, so that's how that works. Does Canada have the same CAFE standards? Can you buy there? So we have fuel efficiency standards, is the short answer. Kia and Hyundai have done very well, but manufacturers are being penalized. Excuse me, sorry about that. Manufacturers are being penalized if their lineup is not efficient enough. I know Honda, for instance, had to pay a fine for not selling enough electric-ish or lower emission vehicles. Do I foresee that EVs and PHEVs will always require pre-orders to take long delivery times, even after the pandemic, similar to how Tesla has always been? No. Dealers want cars on the lot, and as long as we have a dealer network, we want cars on the lot, 100%. This is a right now thing. It's very difficult to get these chips, and these higher tech vehicles have chips and other supply chain issues. And the other thing is, like, Hyundai itself, for instance, only allows so many cars to come to Canada, and the demand has been so high for these that they've sold out of their allotment. And I know with both Kia and Hyundai, the dealer groups and the Canadian head offices have, asked Kia and Hyundai, can we have more? We have an open order for more vehicles. So that's sometimes what's going on here. Can you tune a Tucson N-Line? I'm not sure. If you can, don't ask me to do it. I'm not very good at that kind of stuff. Love my 22 Tucson Limited. Your channel's amazing. I've learned so much. I thank you for that. That was Will Smith. I'm sure it's the famous Will Smith. So Will Smith knows me. He saw me on the internet. Okay, green leather gone from Santa Cruz. I haven't heard that, but to be fair, I haven't looked into that. We have a green leather one that I would have had here today, but I wasn't able to get that today. So green leather has been available. The color I know that on the Santa Cruz that's gone is the sand color. If you see it on dealer lot, buy it because you won't be able to get that. So there is, but I haven't heard that the green leather is discontinued. It's possible. Again, supply chain issues right now are a big thing. We're trying to get the vehicles out to you as best we can. So yeah, so there we go. All right, guys, made it to 108 likes. Got 124 people on. If anybody has a like left to leave, we can see if you can hit it right now. We'll wrap it up. We don't want to go too much further now for time length. If I missed your question, I do apologize. We're back here every single weekday, starting in the new year on Monday. At 2 o'clock, we're going to keep going, do live videos. We're going to add a whole bunch of more stuff. We're going to do test drive videos, little videos, short videos, Kia Hyundai classes, all kinds of stuff. If you want to know more about Kia Hyundai vehicles and you just become a fan of the vehicles themselves, whether you're buying them, whether you own one, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Let's try to blow away our subscriber base as we finish off the year and share some of our videos. And if you haven't seen our videos, do me a favor, guys. Between now and the new year, watch a couple, watch a few, watch some of the short ones, see if it's worthwhile, see if you like it, and we'll go from there. You don't have to watch the long ones. I get it. I don't even watch the long ones. My family doesn't watch the long ones, but there's a bunch of short stuff. Watch it over the long weekend, and we'll see how we can finish off our year. I'm having the best month we've ever had. We're going to be 950-ish thousand views just this month alone. It'd be pretty cool to blow that out of the water. So if you want to do that, that'd be great. If you got better things to do, I get it. So thanks everybody for watching. It's been a fun year. And to all the regulars, I really appreciate every one of you. You guys know the internet is not always a kind place, but our regulars are amazing. They're super kind to me and I appreciate it. So thanks everybody for joining us. Have a great New Year's. Be safe, have fun, and we'll see you again on Monday in the new year.